Hello, beautiful women of the world. Welcome to Cleopatra, where we talk about everything pretty girl logic. So, I wanted to tackle something that I've never really heard in the pretty girl community. Maybe it's been tackled, but I've never really come across this content where people talk about pretty girl politics. There's this notion that pretty girls are this united front, we're this brunch club that we just wear lip gloss and go to brunch, giggle, hee hee, haha, and go home. You know, some glam, some makeup, some human beings who don't really have drama going on. But one thing that I have grown up experiencing as a pretty girl is hostility from other pretty women. And people hardly talk about how, as a pretty woman, you can encounter other pretty women who want to make your life difficult. And most of those times when I experience these things, I used to wonder, like, what exactly makes this girl react to me like this? I mean, she's attractive. The thing about being beautiful is that you can't see yourself all day. And I am usually jealous of people who get to see me every time because it means you get to enjoy my beauty by looking at it. Yes, I enjoy it by the experiences and also by looking at myself in the mirror, but at the same time, experiencing yourself is a whole other thing. And most of my bullies, I was listening to the Exoticals United because I am an exotical, by the way, and I would find that she had a niche hater group, and she would say it's mostly refrigerator shaped women. And I also have my own niche. My niche is quite diverse because I have faced so much hostility from variety of women. I don't really know. There are things I don't really pay attention to. I actively ignore because if I don't ignore, I'm not protecting my peace, and I'm all about my peace. So back to the pretty girl politics. Just because you're pretty and this other girl is pretty, it doesn't mean that you guys are the same. You have to realize that maybe there is a way you move that she cannot move. There are things you can get away with that she cannot get away with, because beauty does not just end at the physical. It also goes skin deep. It goes to the mental. I know a pretty girl who was so obsessive that she started beefing with me to a point of stealing my stuff, throwing stuff at on my bed. This was back in high school, like throwing coffee on my bed so that I cannot have a place to sleep. Active bullying, simply because I refused to bend to her will and allow her to use my personal items. I have had a pretty girl undermine me socially and make me question myself in ways that I couldn't understand, because in my head, we're the pretty girls, we're friends, we're pretty friends. But she saw something in me that I didn't really pick up on, and she was quick to try and kill that fire, but then I caught on. That's the thing. If you are pretty, you are smart, and you are talented, and other great things that I may have not mentioned, you are a threat to someone who relies on their physical only. If you are pretty and by any means you are charismatic, Lord help you. Lord help you. You are pretty and people like you. Oh my God. And I wouldn't say that this triple threat that I have was something innate. These are skills I have actively worked on developing. I have read books, I have studied people, I have been in leadership for a long time. So I know how to negotiate. I know how to understand how people think. My pattern recognition skills are top notch because I was not only a leader, but I am smart as fuck. But then I don't really go around announcing how smart I am and how whatnot I am. But then it doesn't stop other pretty women from feeling the same emotion towards you that an attractive woman would feel. Because society has conditioned us to think that women who are not attractive have more depth in their personality or character, as opposed to the pretty girl who's more often than not shallow and maybe egotistical, arrogant. And that could not be further from the truth, because I am a pretty girl who has experienced hostile pretty girls. I have been bullied by pretty girls. Right now, today, I had a back and forth with a pretty girl who was also trying to get me fired. Yes. So these things actually do happen. It happens. And I would want my channel to be very realistic, not just to unite the pretty girl club, but to unite the pretty girls who are in touch with who the fuck they are. And if you are not in touch with who the fuck you are, I'm here to help you. I might serve as a mirror to your insecurities by my talking points. I may say something that is going to offend you, but kindly note that I'm not an advice channel. I am not the morality police, so there is no wrong answer, but I am speaking my truth, my reality, my personal reality, okay? Whenever I tackle anything over here. So the thing about being pretty is that people assume your life is easy, you have it easy, and they forget that you can have haters within the community that you rely on for support. I have had girls beefing with me about who's more liked between the two of us or the three of us or in our squad, who commands more respect, who is more unbothered, who is the queen of what. There's also been colorism. I just want you to acknowledge what you're good at and harness that skill that you're good at and make it your brand. I am really good at talking. I am very intuitive. I am great at reading people. And so here I am. I'm making a YouTube channel. If by any chance you're the same, go ahead, make a YouTube channel. If you're great at singing, be like Tyler. Go make a career out of it. If you're a model, we have Jasmine Tooks. Go make a model out of yourself, okay? If you have a skill that makes you stand out from the crowd, do not be afraid of harnessing it. And just because you're good at something and someone else is bad at something, it doesn't mean you're better than them by any means. And vice versa. If you're bad at something and someone is good at something, and I don't really understand why some girls cannot sit down with that thought and acknowledge that someone might actually not be as insecure as they are. And yes, I'm going to be empathetic and say, as pretty girls, we do have a lot of insecurities because we have been pedestalized, and you feel like regardless of the fact that being on a pedestal is a good thing. I love being on a pedestal. Being on a pedestal means being celebrated, being acknowledged, being respected, being seen, being validated. I love that. But then it also has the downside of you have to show up and show out. Even if you don't want to, even on the toughest days, people still perceive you on a pedestal. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. And it's possible for you to sit down and be honest with yourself about the things you should adjust. What exactly another pretty girl brings out inside of you. Maybe this girl is very confident within herself and you're not really confident. You go and research how to make yourself more confident, right? You work on a way to make yourself better. I usually tell myself that whenever I feel jealousy towards someone, I'm going to ensure that if I can make whatever is making me jealous, learn that skill or adopt that way of living so that I can feel better about myself, I'm going to do it. I'm not scared of saying, yeah, that girl is great at maintaining her hair. You know what? I'm going to work on myself and make sure I also have the best hair that I can get. Okay? If that girl is slim and she has a cute butt, I'm going to make sure I lose the extra weight that I have and get in the gym and get that nice butt. My point is, the pretty girl club, we do have some people who are glitching, and there is a lot of ego play, there's a lot of competitiveness, and a lot of insecurity and other hidden agendas. Maybe someone else is getting paid more than you, and you think that for you to feel better about yourself is get her fired. That is what is going on with me. Someone thinks that simply because they cannot compete with me, given that my role is very different from what she does, she thinks getting me fired is the solution. And even if I get fired, baby girl, they won't give you my role. You don't qualify for my role. That's the thing. So I just wanted to tackle that because I didn't want anyone to go around the world, any pretty girls to move around the world thinking that simply because they don't get along with other girls that they are a problem. It's not always about you. It could be them, okay? Sometimes you have to acknowledge that the pretty girl club is a mixture. We are not a monolith. Everyone has their own shortcomings and insecurities, and being pretty does not exempt you from having vices or bad character or jealousy or envy. So I wanted to address that because I felt gaslit until I talked to ChatGPT about it, and I was like, yeah, this is something we don't talk about enough. We are always thinking that the ugly girl, for lack of a better word, ugly girl or fat girl or whatever girl is our biggest enemy, and not really. It's not always the case. I have friends who are average looking and I've had a great relationship with them. I've not had them try to sabotage me so far. So I would say that whenever you're moving around the world with caution, don't let another woman's beauty make you feel less than, and don't let another woman's beauty fool you. That woman could be ruthless. She could be dumb, she could be strategic, she could be talented, she could be the devil. So kindly, while you're moving within the world and as we tackle the pretty girl dynamics, I'm hoping that you prioritize discernment above all things. Do not have friends for optics. Do not be like, oh my god, pretty girls should be friends with other pretty girls because pretty girls understand each other's experiences and whatnot. Some other pretty girls have never experienced pretty privilege simply because they have a bad attitude, they have a resting bitch face, they have bad karma. There are people who are pretty but have never really experienced the life of a pretty woman. Okay? So we are not just looking about the beauty outside, we're looking at the beauty within. So with that, I'm going to tackle a bit more on the pretty girl dynamics and also discernment and anything else you'd like me to. If you have story times, kindly send them on my email in the description below. If you want to hear any of my stories, kindly comment down below and feel free to share whatever experiences you have within the community, and I'm going to share them on my channel. So stay fabulous, stay hot, stay Cleopatra.